Illuminating the Path, Lessons from Maya Angelou on Being the Light. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to radiate light from within? That no matter what storms rage around them, they maintain this inner glow that both warms and guides others. I've been fascinated by this phenomenon my entire life. Recently, I had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Amanda Wright for the Soft Girl Era podcast, and I'm still vibrating with the energy of our conversation. Amanda isn't just a successful Black professional, she's a luminous force who embodies what it truly means to be the light in spaces that often try to dim our brilliance. Our conversation centered around a profound truth that Maya Angelou gifted to the world. Nothing can dim the light which shines from within. Amanda unpacked this wisdom in ways that left me speechless, nodding in recognition and occasionally wiping away tears. Her insights weren't just intellectually stimulating, they were soul stirring revelations about how we can transform our communities by simply refusing to diminish our authentic selves. This isn't just a beautiful quote to frame on your wall, it's a revolutionary way of moving through the world, especially for Black women who are constantly navigating spaces that weren't designed with us in mind. What does it truly mean to be the light you wish to see in the world? Not in some abstract bumper sticker way, but in the gritty day to day reality where microaggressions stack up and the weight of representation feels crushing, Maya Angelou's life offers us the blueprint. Born Marguerite Annie Johnson in 1928, her early years were marked by the kind of trauma that could extinguish anyone's inner flame. She experienced racism in its most virulent form. She survived sexual abuse as a child, an experience so devastating that she stopped speaking for nearly 5 years afterward. Think about that for a moment. The woman whose words would eventually heal millions, whose voice would ring out at presidential inaugurations, chose silence for 5 years of her childhood. But here's where the magic happens. That silence wasn't the end of her story, it was merely the cocoon stage. While the world heard nothing from young Maya, something profound was happening within. She was reading, absorbing, developing the voice that would eventually emerge with such power that it would change the literary landscape forever. When she published I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, she broke ground by speaking openly about experiences that society had deemed unspeakable. She transformed her pain into art that created space for others to breathe, to speak, to heal. This is what Amanda means when she talks about being the light. It's not about toxic positivity or pretending darkness doesn't exist. It's about allowing your experiences, even the painful ones, to fuel something transformative. Maya Angelou didn't just survive her challenges, she alchemized them into wisdom that continues to illuminate paths decades later. She published 7 autobiographies, countless poems, received over 50 honorary degrees, and worked alongside civil rights giants like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. But her greatest achievement might be the way she modeled authentic living. As Amanda emphasized in our interview, Maya Angelou taught us that being continuously and authentically yourself is the greatest gift you can offer the world. Let's pause here and really sit with that. In a world that constantly asks Black women to shapeshift, to code switch, to make ourselves smaller or less threatening, Maya Angelou stood in her full magnificence. She didn't dim her light to make others comfortable. She didn't apologize for her brilliance, her beauty, or her boldness. And that's the first key lesson from our conversation with Amanda. Your inner light is enduring. External circumstances may challenge it, but they cannot extinguish it unless you allow them to. I know what some of you are thinking. That sounds great, but you don't know what I'm dealing with. And you're right. I don't know your specific struggles, but I do know that Maya Angelou faced racism, sexual violence, poverty, and single motherhood in an era with far fewer protections and opportunities than we have today. If she could maintain her inner light through all that, perhaps we can find ways to nurture ours as well. The second profound insight from Amanda's interview centers around what I call the cycle of giving back. Maya Angelou understood that blessings aren't meant to be hoarded, they're meant to flow through us and back into our communities. This is particularly crucial within Black professional spaces where representation remains woefully inadequate. When we achieve positions of influence, when we break through those glass ceilings that have kept our communities marginalized, we have a responsibility to create pathways for others. Amanda shared how Maya Angelou lived this principle throughout her life. Despite achieving international acclaim, she never forgot where she came from. She mentored countless writers, activists, and artists. She used her platform to amplify marginalized voices. She understood that true success isn't measured by individual achievement, but by collective elevation. This brings us to a powerful Maya Angelou philosophy that Amanda highlighted. If you must look back, do so forgivingly. However, the wisest thing you can do is be present in the present, gratefully. How many of us spend our days either ruminating over past mistakes or anxiously anticipating future challenges? This mental time travel robs us of our power to act effectively in the present moment, the only moment where change is possible. Maya Angelou experienced tremendous hardship throughout her life, yet she practiced gratitude with remarkable consistency. This wasn't naive optimism, it was strategic resilience. By focusing on present blessings rather than past traumas or future worries, she maintained the emotional resources needed to create meaningful change. Amanda emphasized that this practice of present moment gratitude creates the abundance from which we can contribute to others. You cannot pour from an empty cup. By cultivating gratitude for what we have right now, we generate the emotional and spiritual energy needed to be that light for others. The third lesson that emerged from our conversation focuses on vulnerability as strength. Maya Angelou never pretended to have it all figured out. She openly shared her struggles, her questions, her growth edges. This vulnerability didn't diminish her power, it amplified it. For Black women who often feel pressure to be perpetually strong, perpetually capable, perpetually put together, this permission to be vulnerable is revolutionary. As Amanda pointed out, acknowledging our humanity, including our fears, doubts, and struggles, isn't weakness, it's authentic power. Maya Angelou's advocacy for justice and equality further illustrates this principle. She didn't just speak about injustice in abstract terms, she shared how it affected her personally. She allowed herself to be moved, to be angry, to be heartbroken by the suffering of others. And from that vulnerable place, she took powerful action. Throughout her life, Maya Angelou worked tirelessly for civil rights. She brought her authentic voice to the movement while maintaining her unique perspective as a Black woman. She recognized that equality isn't about being the same, it's about fairness. And she called on all of us to rise together to dismantle the walls of injustice. This aspect of being the light is particularly relevant for those of us with privilege in any form, whether that's educational privilege, economic privilege, or the relative privilege that comes with professional success. We have a responsibility to use that privilege in service of greater equity. Amanda's insights on this point were particularly powerful. She noted that standing for justice isn't just a moral imperative, it's a practical necessity for creating the kind of world where everyone's light can shine freely. So, where does this leave us? How do we take these profound insights from Maya Angelou, so beautifully articulated by Amanda Wright, and translate them into daily practice? First, we must recognize and honor our inner light. This isn't ego or arrogance, it's acknowledging the divine spark that exists within each of us. Take time each day to connect with that inner wisdom, whether through meditation, prayer, journaling, or simply moments of quiet reflection. Second, practice present moment gratitude. Even on your hardest days, find something to appreciate. This isn't about denying difficulties, it's about preventing them from consuming your entire field of vision. As Maya Angelou taught us, being present in the present and gratefully creates the foundation from which we can authentically give back. Third, identify specific ways to share your blessings with others. Mentorship, advocacy, community service, financial support for causes you believe in. There are countless ways to be the light in someone else's darkness. The key is making this giving back a consistent practice rather than an occasional gesture. Fourth, embrace vulnerability as strength. Release the exhausting pretense of having it all together all the time. Share your authentic journey, including the stumbles and wrong turns, with those who have earned the right to hear your story. This vulnerability creates space for genuine connection and collective healing. Finally, stand firmly for justice and equality. Use whatever platform you have, whether that's social media, your workplace, your community organizations, or your dinner table, to advocate for a more equitable world. As Maya Angelou showed us, individual light becomes most powerful when it illuminates paths toward collective justice. I want to leave you with this challenge. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, ask yourself, how will I be the light today? Not next week, not when things settle down, not when you feel more prepared today. Because the world cannot wait for your brilliance. It cannot afford for you to dim your light one moment longer. Remember Maya Angelou's words: nothing can dim the light which shines from within. Nothing. Not racism, not sexism, not economic hardship, not personal tragedy. Nothing can extinguish your inner light unless you allow it to be diminished. Your light isn't just for you, it's a beacon for others who are still finding their way through darkness. It's a flame that can ignite movements, transform communities, and heal generational wounds. It's the most precious gift you have to offer the world. So shine brilliantly and unapologetically. Be the light that illuminates paths toward justice. Be the warmth that nurtures growth in others. Be the beacon that guides those who come after you. Because when we all shine together, we don't just light up a room, we illuminate entire generations. The world is waiting for your light. Don't make it wait any longer.